The owner happened to walk through and he was like, this looks like more than just a one-person job. And I was like, oh, thanks. And he walked out.
So at a certain point, you need professional help.
And so for me, it's not necessarily about winning right now. Like, if no college coach cares about what your record is in 6th grade.
You know, there's times that you need to play your position and play your position smart and tough.
Welcome to this episode of Connections in Cal. It's the podcast where we introduce you to the faces behind local places, sponsored by Serve Pro of Longview, Kelso, and JoJo and Coco Boutique. I'm Katie Keaton, your Southwest Washington Realtor.
And I'm Gabbi Graves, your hometown lender.
And today, we are not in our normal location. We are in the Game Winner Athletic Facility. Did I say that right?
Yes.
GWAG.
The GWAG.
Yes, but before we get into talking to Kyle and Rae Randall of the GWAG, we are going to talk about our new segment, I've Got a Guy.
Yes, if you need help with your spring cleaning, we've got a guy. White's Cleaning Company is Connections in Cal approved. Leah White, the owner, is an amazing gal. Look them up on Google. White's Cleaning Company. They can help you out.
Yes, and they do commercial and residential.
They sure do.
And it's like, seriously, spring cleaning, I really need someone to come out to my house. So, Leah, I might be giving you a call.
I know. I thought the same thing the other day, but I think I need to, pre-clean my house first because I know her and I love her and I don't, I'm embarrassed.
It's the shower scum for me. You know?
Mine's the toothpaste. Yes. I got 4 boys, and they're wild, and they're brushing their teeth, spitting in it everywhere.
So, speaking of 4 boys, speaking of kids, we are in an awesome new facility for your young athletes. Hello, you guys. Thanks for having us in.
Thanks for coming. For being interested.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think everyone is interested in Game Winner. We've been hearing about it. Gabbi's actually been bringing her kids here several times, and we just want to introduce people to you guys and what you have going on.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So before we get into talking about the facility itself, can we hear a little bit about you?
Sure. Where to start?
Are you from the area?
2009? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Is that when you guys got married?
That's when we met.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, no, I'm not originally from this area. I am from Youngstown, Ohio.
Cool.
And grew up there and ended up going to school in North Carolina, which is where I met Rae.
In 2009 when your life began?
2009.
Yep.
And you guys met in college?
Met in college,
Freshman year.
Freshman
Cool.
year.
College.
I was playing basketball.
Where'd you guys go?
University
UNC
of North
Greensboro.
Carolina, Greensboro.
Nice. Okay.
And I grew up here playing
Yes.
sports here. LGSA, I actually have pictures of LGSA softball, and I have pictures with you in youth soccer, basketball, and I graduated from Rainier High School. And so my family's in this area, so when we were done with college and kind of trying to figure out where, it was pretty easy for us to land here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said that when you were in college, Kyle, you were playing basketball and you were playing fast pitch.
Yes.
Okay. So definitely sports run in the family. And
Absolutely.
you obviously still have a passion for it. You are the head coach of the Rainier softball team?
Assistant coach. Yes. Yeah.
I'm giving you your flowers.
Yes,
so.
thank you. Yeah, they asked me this year. I was volunteering up there a couple times with their pitchers, and about a week before season started, they were like, hey, we found a position, or a position opened up. Would you be willing to help us? So,
awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So where did the idea come from for you guys to start Game Winner?
Well, it kind of goes back a while. I've always had, a passion for wanting to teach the game of basketball when I was done playing. I never really knew exactly which way I was going to be able to do that. But started off with just a small business, just training local kids in the area. Didn't have a facility to do it. Just kind of bounced around gyms and were asking people to let us in and sneaking in the gyms and things like that. But it got to the point where players really wanted that development, and so we needed our own spot. And so we were looking. Took us some years to finally find a spot.
That happens.
Yeah. But yeah, we were super excited when we came across this place. The process moved really fast, and so we were able to get everything in here and really try to push this brand and this development business forward. So.
Yeah. So were you looking for a facility anytime you saw a big building like this? Were you like,
Absolutely.
maybe this is the one?
Yeah. Warehouses. We've gone to plenty and probably the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Trying to find places as well that were zoned for something like this. We were looking at warehouses down near Alabama and things, and they weren't zoned for some services. Our services, they were mostly
Like manufacturing.
yes, stuff
That
like
makes
that.
sense,
And
yeah.
so finding an area that was zoned correctly, and even properties for a while, we were looking properties, something easy to get off of the highway, and something that we could build pretty
Yeah.
big.
Absolutely.
And-
Well,
Oh,
go on.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say that I think there's a lot of athletes in high school and in college who want to continue using their athletic abilities for their career later on, but they just don't know how to apply it. And so I love that, you guys decided to make that your career. And it's hard because you don't always know, like, how am I actually going to do this? What is this going to look like you said. But if you, I don't know, it feels like you guys just kind of really thought hard about it, but waited for the right opportunity to come along for it to be the right move.
Yeah, it definitely has been a process. We've tried many different ways to go about, achieving this passion of ours. So we both have gotten into coaching. Rae coached high school. She's currently coaching high school, but she's coached other schools in the past. I've coached at the high school level as well. And so that was one route that we thought that was going to be how we did this.
Right.
When we were striking out trying to find places, we were like, all right, well, let's still stay in the coaching and try to teach the game. And then, time goes on, we keep searching, keep looking at places, and then we finally find this place, and it's like, okay, now's the time. And everything just kind of worked out really quickly, and just has been a huge blessing ever since. So.
Very cool.
It's always funny when you come into places like this because the buildings on the outside are so unassuming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So many
they're
people say that.
yeah, exactly.
They
You're
come in here, they're like, I did not expect it to be this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fit a basketball court in here.
or this nice,
Yeah.
and
They did a really good job.
it looks beautiful.
Connections and Cowlitz is sponsored by locally owned and operated ServPro of Longview, Kelso, the #1 residential and commercial cleanup company in the U.S. They help with smoke damage, fire damage, water cleanup, and vandalism cleanup, mold remediation, and so much more. Remember, you as the homeowner have the final say as to who's in your home. Locally owned, locally operated, ServPro of Longview, Kelso.
Connections and Cowlitz is also brought to you by JoJo and Coco Boutique. This is a woman-owned business where the focus is on the relationships and not the sales. They have quality styles for people of any age, literally. So stop in for yourself or someone you love, and you'll leave with some stylish pieces. JoJo and Coco is on the corner of Commerce and Hudson.
But yeah, you also don't think about when you need a basketball court. The ceilings need to be really high.
Yep.
Right.
Like a basketball hoop is only 10 feet, but
Yeah.
like you need some serious.
For the
Right,
art.
for the
Yeah.
arc of that ball, yeah.
Yes.
And that was also, that played a part in striking out on some of the places that we did find. It was a great space, but the ceiling's not high enough.
Yeah.
Or the ceiling's high enough, but it's not a big enough space. So we just never could really find that perfect venue for this until we came upon this place.
So how did you get the floor? Did you guys do it yourselves? Like who sells
Did you do
basketball
it
flooring?
yourself?
Well, I mean, laying it. I've heard some people
We
do.
laid it.
Yeah.
We did
How
lay it
did you?
ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, they
Yep.
sent one guy from the company that built it. So someone else built it,
Yeah.
put it all together, and then they took it apart and shipped it here. And
Okay.
they sent one guy here, and we had a team of people, of family members that
Yeah.
helped us lay it down.
And that guy kind of supervised
Yeah.
and
Yep.
said,
Yep.
okay, this goes
And,
together.
yeah, he
Okay.
he did great helping us actually with the work and everything as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm here for 3 days. Let's get it done.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was
It's like
definitely
like
a lot of
Amish
work.
round.
Like
Those
140
bars.
pounds each
Amish
flat, and each piece.
Where did
Probably.
it come from? Like, where's it made?
So the company is out of Arkansas.
Cool.
Yep, and so we reached out to them and kind of gave them our vision and our idea, and they did a really good job of, just sending back new mock drafts of what it would look like.
Right.
And so when we finally settled on the color scheme, that gray, black, and yellow, the mock that they sent out, the gray was a little darker, so we liked it. It went together, but we weren't sure how it was going to turn out real time. So then when they finally sent us the pictures of like the completed floor and how it had like the shine to it, we just fell in love with it.
Oh my
It
god.
is so cool.
And
It
so we wanted to have something that kind of stood out and was unique and just didn't look like the average basketball court. And so, yeah, we were super excited about it. And then when it got here, it was time to go to work. Neither of us had any experience
No
laying
floor
down
laying
a
experience.
basketball court or
Not
anything like
like
that.
that.
But yeah, it
Now
was
they do.
a lot of hard work. Yeah, like we can add it to our
Sledgehammers,
resumes
we had
now.
to like tap it into place.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But yeah, we definitely can add it to the resumes.
I
and,
know. The cage too. I mean, just like
Yeah.
the work
Yeah.
being above your head and trying to get everything tightened and
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, like
it was
the-
been a work.
The netting in here for this is for softball, right?
Yes.
It is so clean and put together and
Well,
just
thank you.
also meticulous and nice.
And they-
I couldn't imagine how horrible
was-
it would be to get it to look like this.
I
like
was
your
stretching
shoulders
out
are
the
like
cage at one point, and the owner happened to walk through, and he was like, "This looks like more than just a one-person job." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And he walked out.
I feel like it's a
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
We got it done.
did you guys agree on the color scheme right away?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a pretty easy choice for us.
I'm only asking because earlier we were talking about game winner athletic facility. I'm like, oh, the GWAF, so perfect. We're like, oh, maybe the giraffe should be here.
I know, right?
Should be
Yeah,
a
no, I joke with him. Most of it is satire.
Rance and maybe an octopus.
Yeah, I was trying an octopus at first. There was like a yellow octopus, and so I thought it matched our colors pretty well. It
Yeah.
was the kid stuffed animal, and he said no to that one too. I'm
What do
trying
you-
really hard.
What do you think, Kyle? What would be your mascot? If you had to pick a mascot, what animal would it be?
And I would say probably a lion, I would think. But that's
And
just
they're
me.
yellow,
like,
too.
Yeah, that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Orca.
They're winners.
I want an
Orca?
orca.
I mean, yeah, the wolves of the sea. I guess that works. But
Wolves of the sea. Well, they could be the lions of the sea too. I feel like they're a little bigger than a wolf. An orca.
yeah,
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah,
fair.
valid.
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, so we've talked about the fact that there is obviously a full-size basketball court behind us. We are in a batting cage right now. So you guys offer basketball, and you offer basketball camps, and you also host some teams here.
Yes.
And then you offer softball coaching as well.
Fast pitch. Yes,
Fast
I
pitch.
specialized train for pitching.
Okay.
And so right now I am working with pitchers all over the community. I would like to eventually offer, and I've done some group works for hitting, mostly with the high school that I work with. So I think there's room to grow in here for that. But right
very
now it's
cool.
pitching.
Yeah.
very cool.
Which, oh my gosh, pitching is so...
Yeah, it's very specialized.
Yeah. Yes. My son is a pitcher, and he actually just went to see his private pitching coach yesterday because he's like, I need to add a new pitch, Mom. But I don't even understand what is happening. Like, if I'm the
lot.
one that takes him to, to his training, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. His coach is like, lean this way. Just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It is really specialized.
Right.
And that's great that we have someone here locally.
Thank you.
Because that is not something really, and same with basketball. We talked about this earlier.
Right.
When you're playing on an organized team, there's no time for individualized work
Right.
most of the time.
Yep.
So if you want to get better at pitching,
Yeah,
you need to work on it outside of a team practice.
absolutely.
And at a certain point, like your parents, bless them, but they might not have the college background in sports. So at a certain point, you need professional help, and it makes all the difference. Our tournament basketball team, they are 4th grade this year, and we sent them here once a week just for help with ball handling, and they worked with Kyle once a week for I believe 2.5 months, and it made absolutely all the difference in their confidence, all the difference in their ball handling skills, and then the coaches were able to take more time to work on plays and teach kids how to actually, I don't know,
Understand what's
understand their
happening.
position
Yeah.
more and what they can do in their position. So, and I've seen kids after on our team continue with private lessons, and they're just skyrocketing in their performance.
Yeah. Well, and I also think sometimes with basketball specifically, they might be 4th graders, and it's like, oh, well, this kid's like 4 inches taller than everyone else, so he's a big guy, and we don't have to teach him how to ball handle.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Just post
Yeah,
that.
I have
Yeah.
one of those. My 4th graders. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, he's like 5'4" now. So yeah,
But it's like, let's all learn how to ball handle because
Yeah, it's
you
super
might be the
important.
tall
You
kid
get-
in 4th grade, but you might only
You get to
be-
college and
yeah.
they're like, oh, we want you as a power forward or a guard. And
Yeah.
Right.
you
Yeah.
got to all of a sudden learn those skills.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, that's definitely something that you see a lot in youth basketball. They kind of just position you based off your height. And so I try to tell all the players that I work with here is that you got to be able to do everything. Even guards, learning how to play in the post, just because it teaches you footwork. So just being able to learn every position just makes you more valuable as a basketball player. So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially because your height might be very different. Like, you might stack up very differently when you're in high school than when you're in the 4th grade.
yeah.
So true.
So let's talk a little bit about the teams that you guys have.
Yeah. So we have 2 middle school teams. The program is called the Rising Stars. And then we host 2 high school teams as well that are, my brother is actually the owner of that, or he runs that, but we let them practice here and access the facility, and they're called Two-Way Stars. And so we kind of just put it all together under one basketball program and titled it the Stars Basketball Program. And STARS is an acronym. It stands for striving together to achieve results and success.
Love. Well, that's
So-
your mascot, a star.
A star.
You need like a shooting star thing, and it can be yellow.
We can do that. There we go.
Holding a
Found it.
basketball and one of his little peaks,
Yeah, there you go.
you know.
Yeah. So yeah, the Stars basketball program. I'm super excited about that. It allows me to, get my coaching fix in still, because training and coaching to me, although they're very similar, it's just a different pace. Teaching specific skills versus teaching general basketball IQ and how to play together and how to make the right plays. I enjoy both, and so being able to, be on the sideline again and, teach kids how to play basketball the right way is something I'm super happy about and excited that we were able to do.
Cool.
And,
Yeah.
So
And you're helping the stars in our community, like the upcoming ones, because
Yeah.
like Mark Morris, R.A. Long, look at how far they went even in, state this year, and
Right.
a lot of the other schools. And so it'll be fun. You can see these kids in middle school, but,
Yeah.
as they move forward too.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I've done high school teams in the past. I've never had a middle school program, and so this is the first year I'm able to do it, and it's been really fun. Just being able to start earlier and kind of building a foundation for these young players. And I really enjoy that we are able to work with the athletes from all the different schools in the community. It's not just, one school district that we're focused on. We're trying to help out all the programs in the area. So hopefully, we continue to see basketball success at the high school level when these kids continue to grow up and develop. So.
I appreciate that, definitely. Okay, so the designation of the team is an AAU team, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
we play AAU basketball. And so most of that season is spring, summer.
Okay.
But we'll also, with the middle school team, we'll continue on through the fall. The focus for that is really long-term development. A lot of times kids join basketball programs and, the mission is to win now. But for me, I have a different approach. I've been able to experience basketball overseas and see how they do it and see how they develop. I've also, just have my own experiences of coming up, and so that's kind of formed and shaped how I view and my perspective on youth basketball development. And so for me, it's not necessarily about winning right now. Like, if no college coach cares about what your record is in 6th grade, 7th grade. So
That's some good perspective to put out there.
Man, as a parent, it sure feels like it when you're screaming. But yeah.
yeah. So like the main thing for me is, are you getting better?
Yes.
Because when winning does start to matter at the high school level, you want to make sure that you know how to play basketball, you're making the right plays, and that you're doing things the right way. And so the foundation is being built right now with these young athletes of just trying to teach them I call it basketball etiquette, right? Just being able to approach it the right way. And so when it does start to matter, like I said, you're playing your best basketball.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and I like that in your acronym for STAR, it's talking about the fact that you are achieving things together.
Absolutely.
Because so much about playing sports, doing athletics, is learning to work together.
Right.
And sometimes that gets missed when people only care about winning.
To do
Yes.
the greater good for the team.
Yes.
There's times that you need to play your position and play your position smart and tough, and that might not be shooting the basket, and that's okay, you know, and that still means that you are having a very pivotal role in the success of your team. And so I appreciate that as well. For a long time, our families, you know, in this community and other communities around us have to go to Vancouver or Tacoma or Olympia to access, you know, these tournament AAU teams. So it's amazing that that you guys created that here, because there's never been a lack of talent in our area.
Right.
And we've talked about this with Tyler Hoagman from Neighborhood Heroes. Not a lack of talent, a lot of lack of mentorship. And you guys are bringing both of that here locally, so people don't have to drive 40 minutes each way, because that's not attainable for every family.
Well, and lack of opportunity for some kids, because, you know, I feel guilty sometimes that I'm able to take my son down to Vancouver 3 times a week for baseball, because I know not everyone can do that. And we see so many talented kids, and there's so many talented kids where I'm like, I wish they could go. Like, you know what I mean? I wish they could have the same experience. So having it here is like opens up so many opportunities for kids that might not have the ability otherwise.
Absolutely.
But still need it.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
And opens up the opportunity to kids who aren't maybe like that star basketball player, but somebody who wants to learn how to play and get, maybe they're just starting in middle school. So that's a huge deal.
I see that with pictures too. Girls that just, they see it being done and they want to try it. And oh yeah, come on in. I can teach you how. And
it's intimidating to try something like that, because it is so specialized. So if you don't know how to do it, where do you start?
Yeah, my daughter, she is talking about how she wants to try softball, but I'm like, it's such a long season. No offense. Like,
and it's outdoors. I know.
I'm like, don't you love soccer?
I did not think I was going to love basketball as much as I do. And one of my younger sons, Jace, he's in 4th grade. He is just like, I don't know. He's just grown so much as a basketball player. And I now love the game of basketball. I call him Baby Bill Walton. He doesn't love that so much, but I think it's hilarious. Yes, but he has grown as a person and has so much more confidence now playing the sport and becoming better at it. So it's really boosted his confidence and his personality. He's just blossomed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a huge piece of just sports in general, is the skills, the life skills that it teaches you, and the tools that it builds in you to go be successful outside of the sport. I just recently was blessed with the opportunity to speak at LCC at a leadership seminar that they held for some of the high school kids, and
Very cool.
that was a topic that I talked about, were 8 lessons that basketball taught me on my journey to entrepreneurship. Can't tell you all 8, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's okay.
But definitely, you know, discipline was one. Learning how to be resilient. You know, the will to prepare over just the will to win, because in sports and in life, the preparation is going to lead to the success rather than you just wanting to be successful. And then another huge component for me that we talked about was just faith. I'm a huge believer in Christ, and he's been a huge X factor in a lot of the success that I've had. And so just trying to open kids' minds to the idea of believing in something bigger than yourself, and being able to serve others and love others. And so those are some of the things that I learned through basketball that have helped me on this journey now, you know, trying to build a business and trying to build positive resources for the community that we live in. So
Well, that makes a lot of sense, because entrepreneurship is hard.
Yes.
You need to be very resilient.
Yeah.
You need to know how to face adversity.
Absolutely.
And to rise to different challenges, because they definitely come up.
And dream big. Like,
Yeah.
Well, what are
the
your
ideas.
dreams for this place? What are your next steps, or where do you see it going?
There's a lot, to be honest. I feel like there's so much that we want to do and that we can do with something like this. For instance, we just are starting to open up the weight area and do speed and power sessions. And so that's going to be a new service that's added, because some of the athletes that we're seeing, the skill is there, but they don't have anybody training the strength side of it. And so we understand with
and
the experiences.
safely,
Right.
Because
Yeah.
that is,
Right. You can go
if you
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing, you can really hurt yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so rather than kids just trying to figure it out on their own, having a place that they can come with a trainer and get taught to do it with the right posture and the right form, so they don't hurt themselves, and it's a tailored plan put together for you. But me and Ray both understand, after playing at the college level, how important strength is to be good at your sport. And so being able to offer that service, we're really excited about that. We also want to do things with mentorship, mental health. We're both huge advocates for that. We both work in that outside of this. And so trying to build programs for young athletes that deal with mental health or struggle with mental health and playing with sports, because it's huge, and they go hand in hand together. There's a lot of sports anxiety that comes up. There's a lot of kids who end up finding themselves in depression or being depressed because of results or pressures that they put on themselves because of sports. So being able to help them through those things is definitely something that we also want to start to do in this community. And then just be a positive hub. I mean, like I said, I think there's so many things that we can do. We don't even know all of them yet, but we're just excited for the journey and taking it one day at a time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're excited. I think there has definitely been a buzz around the opening of Game Winner Athletic Facility, GWAG. I just like to say that, so I'm just going to keep saying it. It's my new favorite thing. Yeah, we're really excited for you guys. How can people follow along in your journey? Like, are there ways for people to sign up or be on a waiting list for your activities? How can people do that?
Yeah, so we have an app that anybody can find at the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. It's Game Winner Athletic Facility. You go on there, you create a profile, and you can find the calendar for everything: basketball, softball, speed and power. And you just go in there and you create a profile, and you book an appointment, or you book into one of the classes that we offer. So that process is pretty easy, and then we're all over Facebook, Instagram. Me and my wife both have like our own individual Instagram pages too that you can follow, personal pages. So you can follow that. We post a lot of things for our business on there as well. So we're trying to get out there on every platform. So make it easy to
That's
find.
a full-time job too.
Oh, it really is. We know.
It is, and we have plans for that too. Actually, so when we walked in, that is our Game Changer Lab, that's been sponsored by Fiber.
Okay.
And so we're working on building internship programs for kids in the area. And one of the thoughts is to do digital marketing for one of them, and so trying to have students help us with keeping up with all the social media stuff. And
Very cool.
And then have it to put on their resume.
Yeah,
Right.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, in the high schools here, I know for sure Mark Morris has a class
do, yep.
related to that already, so I'm sure you could kind of cherry pick some of those students out of there.
Yep.
And we actually know of a program that's doing internships for teens as well, so
Okay.
that might be a good one to connect you with.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, very cool. Thank you so much for coming on.
If
Gabbi.
people want to help in any way, what are some ways that people could help? Are you guys looking for
Sponsorships
coaches,
or-
sponsorships? What could people do?
Yeah, definitely looking for sponsorships. We want to connect with other local businesses in the area. We have a lot of space in here to put banners up for you guys to get some recognition, and just collaborate on community events. I think that's something that we also want to do. And then as far as anything else, I'm not sure. I mean, I think just spreading the word. Word of mouth has been huge for us. So the more people that know about it, and then they tell their friends, and then they tell their friends. So if you have any young athletes that are looking to get developed in basketball or fast pitch pitching, spread the word and tell them to send them here.
And if you don't know where we are right now, we are right next to Scythe Brewing, so you could always just
On Third Avenue.
Yes.
bring your kids for their practice and then go to Scythe real
Seen
fast.
it.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have. If I was opening a restaurant, I would open my restaurant right next to an athletic facility.
It is smart, actually. Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's not creating chaos in here.
They came
Nope.
first. So.
Nope, they were here first. And it was actually a huge reason why we love this location, motivation because we thought of that too.
Yeah.
Like parents, just come in, drop your kids off. They're safe. They're going to get better, and you guys can go have a bite to eat, or grab a good drink, and then come back and then go on about your day.
And these sunny days, the garage door's open too, so we can see.
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. I've only come in the winter during basketball season. Yeah.
It's been nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you can follow along on their social medias, but if you are interested in getting your young athlete in here, then definitely download the app, which is available in the App Store. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll be back with you next time on Connections and Callets, which is sponsored by Serve Pro Longview Kelso and JoJo and Coco Boutique.